Hey, so brief update. The one thing I can't talk about, which I really want to talk about and just get it off my chest, and I can't talk about it, but I am frustrated. Um, it's not going anywhere. I've rescheduled with this person so many times and feel like they've blown me off, and so I'm contacting another person and we'll see what happens. The ball is going really slow on that. Sorry to be cryptic, but I don't want to say a lot just in case. The other thing with the job situation, I haven't heard back from that financing job that I applied for last week and interviewed last week with. So I don't know if I'll get it or not. Like I said, I don't have a financial background. I don't have an accounting degree or anything. I just wanted to give it a go and see if I could learn something different because I already took some online courses on loans and different things, and I thought it was interesting, and so I thought, well, I could probably help somebody if they're confused and make it more simplified for them instead of all complicated like most people do when you're trying to understand this stuff. So if I can study it alone and summarize it in my own head and give it examples and stuff, then I can help other people. And so that's what made me want to go into that area. So we'll see. Maybe I got passed over for somebody who has an accounting background. I don't know. But she did mention there was like a lot of different places around my area that I could work at. So we'll see. And I did give it to God. I said, okay, if it's not meant, close the door. If this other job is meant, open the door. I did have somebody go, are you sure you want to have that one job that's desperate because it's in the same field and you're trying to get out of that field and it's draining on you and it's probably not a good idea. And I said, well, beggars can't be choosers. I don't have the phone ringing off the hook for a job. There's not like people calling going, hey, you want to interview for a job, despite the amount of applications I've put out. So it's at this point I feel like I need to do something, and at least something is better than nothing. And it is going to suck if I do get hired at the job is going to suck hard, and it's going to be emotionally draining, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be emotionally draining, and it's probably going to be toxic. So I don't look forward to it, but I need something that's a steady income that's more than unemployment, and unemployment's got a cap. It's going to run out. I need something. So, beggars can't be choosers, and I am still planning to go to college and pursue the different degree to give myself an out and get something different going on. So speaking of, I got another call, like how I mentioned a couple weeks ago that this guy randomly called me early in the morning telling me that I need to call him back, but he didn't give me his name or his number. He just left a message and said I need to call him back. It was about my what do you call it? The status of my application with the college, and I already knew I was accepted. And talking to that gal that was 15 minutes late calling me the other day, that did give me some good information. She told me I was accepted, so I already knew I was accepted. She validated it and said, yes, you are accepted. And I mean, it's in black and white. I can read. So he called today, and he was kind of bitchy. He wasn't the most pleasant person I've ever talked to. He was kind of a bitch, and he was very prissy. And I just, I told him, oh yeah, I already know I'm accepted. And he said, well, why aren't you enrolled in any courses? I said, well, because I was told by this person that that's awful. This person that didn't like my accent and said you sound like a northerner and all this. It was a bitch. She's the one that told me I couldn't. I didn't tell him all that. I just said her name. I said she told me I can't enroll until January, so I thought that I can't do anything until January. He said, well, I see you can enroll and take classes as early as October. And I was like, so I don't know. I get conflicting information from these people. They're not organized. which is frustrating. You know, a university should be organized. They're there to educate you, and usually education requires organization. So it really is frustrating. But yeah, he told me he would do all this stuff, and he didn't do any of it. He sent one email to my student email inbox that was just a thing that was a copy paste of, you know, send your college, not resume, college, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, syllabus, that's what it is. Send your college syllabus to this group or whatever, this link or whatever, and they can take a look at your college syllabus to see if they can count that course towards your education. So, you know, I guess he was somewhat helpful, but not really. That guy hates his life. Like, you could tell he was like not having it. He just hates his life and hates his job and whatever else is going on with him. You know, I didn't ask, and I don't care. So hopefully that's the last time I hear from that guy. But anyway, so yeah, I already contacted my former college because I don't have any of my I don't have anything from college because it was in a storage unit out west, and I had moved here in 2004, and all my stuff got ruined. It like, evidently it rained and some kind of storm happened, and I didn't have insurance on it, and it got ruined. So all of my college books I had kept, and all of my stuff, I mean, it's gone. So it is what it is. But so I wrote the college, and I asked them for if they could send me PDFs with each course's thing. I can't believe I'm brain dead, but it's whatever. It's not the resume. I forgot already what it's called. Anyway, whatever it is, the thing that you have to look at to know what all is entailed in the course. I asked him for it. At the time, I knew the name. Thank God my brain was working this morning. But so yeah, I'm off of coffee. That is why I can't think clearly. I am clearly a coffee addict, and I can't think clear. It's like, oh, I miss my coffee. But it makes me more anxious, even just a cup. And so I'm like, okay, this is not healthy. So I took a brief walk today, and that was about it. So but yeah, so I have my interview on Thursday for that job that's desperate, that wants me to send my college transcripts and stuff like that. So, you know, that job is probably in the bag. I just gotta send all that stuff and do the interview, and, you know, at least work again. But the job is gonna suck so hard. It's so toxic, and I can tell this is why they keep needing people at the same company and for the same position. The job is toxic. The people are toxic that work there. It's not going to be fun. I'm going to hate life, but, you know, I need something to pay the bills. Like, you know, unemployment isn't going to be around forever. It's got a cap. It's not much. It's not enough to pay my bills anyway, so I need something. So there you have it. And I do plan to go to school at the same time, and hopefully pay for school as I go, take one course at a time. Even though I would love to take more than one course, I need to take one course at a time to avoid taking out another student loan, because my loans are paid off. I paid those suckers off working 3 jobs. I don't ever want to think about the government and student loans ever again. I don't like that pressure, so I want it just to be easy peasy and just do this and get my education and be on my way. So that's what I'm hoping to do, is just one course at a time and pay the money, which is like, oh God, it's almost the cost of rent. It's like $1,000 or more than that. I can't remember, for 3 hours. So a 3-hour class is like, I think it's over $1,000. So it's like basically I'm paying rent twice, because I'm paying almost $2,000 a month for rent. And so then you think about, you know, all the rest of your bills, and then you're going to have that course. So yeah, so I have to really budget and think and plan and just, be on top of it and really, really, really try to avoid taking out a student loan. And if I do end up taking out a loan, I'm going to make it as small as possible and make it on classes that I need to take together and make it make sense to where it would be necessary, you know. But anyway, that's the big plan. So that's all that's going on. And but yeah, the other thing is frustrating. It's moving slowly. I'm so disappointed. I've like rescheduled with that person, and they blew me off, and they tried to blame it on me and said that I didn't answer my phone. And I told the whatever she is, I don't know if she's a secretary or a legal aid, or I don't know what she is, her title is, but she said, yeah, he said he tried to call you, but you didn't answer. I said, no one called me. No one's called since you called to remind me of the appointment early this morning, for the afternoon appointment, and then your text messages, and that's the only communication I show on my call log. And I said, so make sure he has my number and he dialed it correctly. But more than likely, I think he's unorganized and has too many cases, and probably didn't have time to look at my case and wasn't prepared, and probably didn't want to deal with me today. So I researched and found somebody else and answered all their questions, and I'm waiting to hear from this other person. So we'll see what happens. But I do want, you know, I prayed today and I read some Psalms, and I feel like I do deserve vindication. I wasn't treated right, and it's caused a lot of stress and a lot of economic hardship, and I don't deserve it. So especially since my productivity numbers and everything was like really high. I was a good worker. There was no reason. There's no other than she just didn't like me. So that's just frustrating. And she didn't like me because I set boundaries with her. And anytime you do that with a narcissist, you're not going to be around for long. You can count your days. And I should have known that, and I should have started looking for other opportunities at the time instead of hoping things would work out. But anyway, yeah, the writing was on the wall as soon as I did that. So but yeah, always be careful with a narcissist, especially. And a narcissist, how you can really tell is they're insecure, but they're overly confident. They don't know what they're doing at all, and they climb the ladder really quickly, and they lie, they manipulate, they're disgusting, awful people, and they're really good at being charming to the people they want to be charming towards. So upper management and stuff like that. So that's how they get the positions. And unfortunately, that's just how it is with a lot of jobs nowadays. And I don't know if that's just an American thing. I do have a friend that's in Amsterdam. He's Dutch, and for a while he was mistreated at jobs, and he's an introvert too. And he just kept getting mistreated, and he finally got a job that he really loves, and he's really happy with it, and he stays busy with that, and stays busy with his hobby that he does, and he does his thing. So I guess it must have worked out. But I do think it's mostly an American thing, though. I think that our country's becoming so toxic. The people are becoming so toxic. It's just, you know, I don't think that social media made it worse. I think that it just made it rise to the surface of, this is what's been under the rug all this time, you know? Like, it's there. It's just, it was under the rug. And so, but yeah, I do wish we could go back to before 2010, when things weren't as awful. You know, I mean, not to say it was great. I don't think the years, you know, and I don't really care about politics. I posted that stuff, and, you know, oh my God, the world and da 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 da. I'm interested. It's interesting to observe. It's interesting to figure out stuff that's going on, the patterns with people. But ultimately, all I care about is what's going on with me right now. I don't care about the world. I'm not freaked out or scared about the world and the world's problems. I do think we're going to have a war, unfortunately. It's a matter of time. You know, it is what it is, and we'll either survive or we won't. There's nothing you can do about that kind of stuff, you know? So, you know, who knows, you know? It's kind of like, you know, you think about like those apocalyptic movies, you know, and you kind of wish that you could be trapped in a room with like a really cool guy and have a romantic time before you die. You know, that's the only thing that goes on in my head. I'm like, it's too bad I can't find like a really great guy and get trapped in an apocalyptic, you know, if we're going to go down and apocalypse is happening, it'd be cool to have a moment with a guy, you know, and just, you know, that would be cool. And then be blown to smithereens, you know, but, you know, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But, it's just, it's crazy. But, yeah, so nothing's moving forward. I have my job interview on Thursday, and that's about it for my update. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm still single, of course. It's not like I leave my apartment except to go for walks, which that's another subject, and I've already talked 16 minutes. So thanks for watching. Sorry that, yeah, maybe this lighting to make it look better or brighter in here maybe wasn't a good idea, because you could really tell I don't have makeup on, and you could tell that I don't look my greatest today. But thanks for watching anyway, and have a great day yourself.